Starting our vlog. Say hello to the vlog.
Morning.
Good morning, vlog. Today, we're gonna...
Oh,
You
sorry.
just choked me a little bit. Today, we're gonna be talking about relationships and entrepreneurship and how to navigate the craziness of both. But first, let's see Mila. Mila, she sleeps in the longest out of anybody here.
Good morning, sweetie.
She's always the last one to get up.
Good morning, guys. I'm sleeping in today. I like sleeping in every day, actually.
Yeah, I'm sleeping in. I'm not getting up.
Oh, sweetie, are you sleepy?
I don't need to get up. I don't have any...
You gotta get up so you can eat breakfast and exercise and drink your water.
Nope. I don't have responsibility.
Oh, I love you.
And then usually we kiss her about 5,000 times.
And tell her how perfect she is.
Hi, pretty girl. You're beautiful. You're
Oh, thanks, Dad. You're beautiful, too.
Well, I'm a guy, so call me handsome.
Aw.
Let me know how you guys feel about this, but we still have our Christmas tree up, and it is January 18th, and we still have the Christmas tree up. But look, since we live downtown, I can see other people that have their Christmas trees up as well. That person right there, I don't know if you guys can see it, they have their Christmas tree up too. So we are not alone. Alright, so 9:30 here, have put in 3.5 hours of work already. This is now about the time that I go to eat breakfast, and then I have an ad shoot today at 12. So breakfast, more project work, ad shoot at 12. However, for breakfast, I know this is a relationship podcast, or entrepreneurship / relationship podcast. For breakfast, Caitlin's out there right now. She's doing wifey things. And usually for breakfast, what I'll do if she's around is I'll put my phone down, I won't look at work, and I'll try to be intentional when I cook breakfast with her to hang out, to talk. Even if it's just like 20 to 30 minutes, it's still vital that if you have the opportunity to do it, you should do it. You should be intentional. So let's go see what she's doing.
Hi.
Are you doing wifey things?
Well, I have to prep a recipe, so I had to clean all this first.
Ah,
Yeah.
doing God's work out here. Doing things that I don't want to do.
Yeah, thank God for me.
Wow. Explain this organization.
Well, that was all that was in the dishwasher.
And why is it on the table?
Because I have to put it away.
Ah, what do you think, Mila? Are you helping, Mila? Yes. I am a great helper.
She is.
Great helper, guys.
Making sure everything's
Wow. What do you think? So Caitlin and I are going to do a relationship / entrepreneurship Q&A at the end of this vlog. But I just want to show the reality, man. So I prefer to work in my office. So I prefer to be alone and work in my office. I don't really work at coffee shops. I work in my office because I just like the silence and I don't like to be bothered. And Caitlin, she prefers to work out there. So once again, just want to show that like with relationships and entrepreneurship, like a lot of time on social media, you guys will see like these perfect circumstances. They spend all day together. They're always around each other. They even work right next to each other. And that's just not the reality. And that's what I'm trying to show you guys on this vlog is just like the reality of social media and the reality of influencers and the reality of the coaching industry. We're just normal people. She's working out there, I'm working out here, and that's the facts.
balls under the bed so far.
You seem bothered.
I am.
What's going on here? Describe Mila's addiction.
Well, I'm working here, and she keeps putting the balls underneath the bed. Oh,
Mila, you have your ball?
This one's gonna go in there too.
You have your ball?
Yep. So I have to keep going under again. I can't reach to it though.
So Mila's love for a ball is like a cocaine addict's love for cocaine.
Yeah, it's really bad.
She is obsessed with this thing, but the issue is like, sure, yeah, she could be obsessed with her toy and she can play with it, but she puts it under the bed,
No, we can't get
and
it.
then Caitlin has to go under and try to get it, but then sometimes they're so far back that you have to get like a broom. So more times than not, we never let her play with her ball, but as you can see, she very much likes it.
It's a recipe for disaster.
Dun 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 dun. Mila, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it from you. She will not let you get close to it. We're gonna take it from you, Mila. We're done. How's your day going so far?
Whoa, that's probably a horrifying angle. It's good.
What are you working on
Working
here?
on some exciting things.
Tell.
Can't say.
Just give like a little hint.
It's going to really change the game for NLCA.
In what way?
It's going to make a lot of business owners' lives a lot easier.
It's gonna save them time.
Save them time.
It's
and
gonna
also
help their clients.
improve their client experience.
Yeah, I like your little desk here.
Yeah.
This is a new addition. Well, not a new addition to our
I just
apartment,
moved the
but
desk in here so it's like a separate workspace from outside.
yeah, you look cute with your headphones. And there she is again, the menace.
Yeah.
Let me show you guys this sunset. So I got the blinds up right now because once again it would blast my face, but look at that beauty. That's a beauty. We get that sunset every day. All right, so I'm working right now, and I know this vlog is about entrepreneurship and relationships, and one of the hardest things for me is right now I'm working, right? It's 5:45. I know I'm gonna work probably until like 6:45, and then I'm gonna read my book, and then it's gonna be about 7. And then Caitlin and I are gonna do our Q&A, and we're gonna hang out. But the hardest thing for me right now is, I want to hang out with her. Every part of me right now wants to be in the other room hanging out with her. But I know, being the man of the household, that I got to get this done. Because getting this done is the right thing to do, right? It's the right thing to do for our family. It's the right thing to do for NLCA. It's the right thing to do for NLCA staff members. So when it comes to entrepreneurship and it comes to relationships, the hardest thing to do is to choose, for me at least, is to choose the business when I know that I want to be out there hanging with her. And that's at least my decision, and what I come back to is the work I'm putting in right now is for our future family, and for us. And that's the thing that I keep coming back to is, all right, I'm doing this for our family. I know I'm doing the right thing. And it's like, it's an irrational fear because, and we'll talk about this later, but she gives me so much space, man. She gives me so much space and so much grace to be able to live out my dreams, to be able to do these things. And I'm extremely grateful for that. But it is still hard. It is still hard because, I want to be hanging out with her. But I'll see you guys at the Q&A. I miss you.
Oh, I miss you too, baby.
I was just telling the camera how the hardest thing for me is knowing that I want to be out there with you, but I have to be in here because I gotta do it for the family.
I just finished off some things, so.
All right, are you ready for our Q&A tonight?
Yes.
Me too. What you cooking?
We have some rice,
Rice,
coconut aminos,
coconut,
sriracha.
sriracha.
Oh, I don't know about that salmon. It's okay.
Smells fishy.
It's a little off, but
Sally by the seashore.
I don't know.
Why does it have
It's giving,
white
like,
coming out of it?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's okay, but whatever. I'm gonna eat it anyway.
I think it passes the smell test.
Yeah, it's okay.
And you're putting it in this bowl?
Yeah, I'm gonna just mix it right in.
Well, it looks good. I actually love this rice.
Yeah, that rice is
The
really good.
cilantro lime rice. That shit is good. Let's go see what Mila's doing.
Just sleeping.
Mila.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, Dad.
Are you in your bed? Oh, what is that, Dad? What is that, Dad?
Okay.
Alright, so let's get the...
Ow! I just hit my knee.
You okay?
Yeah.
Alright, well, we got 4 questions. That's a good start for our first one. Okay. Are you sure this is in camera? In frame?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We could also like ask, like we could also just
yeah.
create some questions.
Oh, for sure. But hold on. This looks like it's... Now they're seeing my OCD. Okay.
Well, you can cut this.
No, I like just putting it all in.
Oh.
God. Putting it all in.
Shoot.
Okay, I think this is good. Alrighty, here we are. Okay, so as promised, we got some questions for you guys on entrepreneurship and relationships. So we're gonna answer these, and I'm sure we'll kind of just... I'm losing my train of thought. We'll kind of just bullshit around as well. All right, question number 1. How do you balance creating a brand while maintaining relationships with your loved one? Okay, so I have a question for this person. When they say brand, are they talking about like how do you outwardly create a brand on Instagram while also maintaining a relationship with your loved one? Or are they talking about building a business?
Yeah, that would be my question too. I feel like it's a brand thing. Like if it's a brand question, I don't know, like pertaining to like a personal brand or a brand that you're building that's not a personal brand, I feel like, yeah, like maintaining relationships with your loved ones, like the only way that it would be truly hard is if you don't feel like you're getting support from your loved ones. Because I feel like when we started building like our personal brands, even before we knew what kind of businesses we were going to build, our families would just watch us like film and take photos and try and get content, and like our days revolved around a lot of like social media stuff. So I feel like you have to help your loved ones understand like what you're doing for them to really like get behind it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we had the luxury, we both built our brands like together at the same time, so we had that luxury. But one thing that does come to mind is like you do need some separation between time that you are building your brand and time that you are like in having time with your relationship. I know one thing that like we catch each other on is if we're on social media but we're supposed to be hanging out, we'll say like, hey, can you do that later? Like, this is time for us. Like right now, obviously, like we're devoting time to social media, but then after this, we're not even going to look at our phones, right?
Yeah.
We're going to hang out and sit on the couch.
Yeah.
So I would say as you're building your brand, especially if your significant other doesn't want to be a part of your brand, which I'm assuming that's probably the case, then just make sure that you have time that is separate. Like this is relationship time, and this is business building time, or this is brand building time.
It's the same thing as, I mean, obviously it's different, but also the same, like if you're going into like a job and you work all day and then you come home and you're not focused on work anymore, so you're focused on your relationship. Like obviously that's harder when you are an entrepreneur because you're in charge of your shutdown time. So I feel like for us, yeah, like holding each other accountable to having like shutdown times, and when we are shutting down, like we're not going back to like the phone for like social media stuff. But I feel like, yeah, like the divide can be hard if you're working at home with your partner and yeah, like you work for yourself, so no one's telling you to like actually stop.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's also not going to be perfect though. Like it's never going to be perfect. Like, and going back to Caitlin's point, that's why it's so important for them to know like what you're trying to accomplish. And most people, this is just an assumption, but I'm assuming that your significant other probably doesn't know anything about social media, so they probably don't even know how social media plays a role in your business. So not only telling them like, hey, this is what I'm trying to accomplish with my business, but this is how social media plays a role in that.
Yeah, like
so,
you're not just like scrolling on
Instagram.
Yeah. Like you're actually like either creating valuable content, you're connecting with followers, you're answering DMs, questions, etc. Like it's not like you're just mindlessly looking at stuff.
Right. And I mean, like I said, it's probably the case that they don't want to be a part of your brand, meaning like they probably don't want to be in your content. If they do, great, that makes it really easy to accomplish this. But if they don't, at least like show them like, hey, this is how I build a reel. Hey, these are my reels. Hey, when I DM somebody, this is what I'm doing, right? Like show them the inside so they're not left like guessing like, what the hell is this person doing on their phone? Like they know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
I think we can crush that one. All right, question number 2. Ooh, this is a novel. Okay, as a brand new business owner in general, how do you / did you navigate the unknown of, I don't know how long I have to work 12+ hour days and not hang out with you or barely see each other. In other words, when you started, did you have to set aside purposeful time each day and week and month for the relationship? Also, how did Caitlin support you during this time? My boyfriend is new to experiencing the concept of the online space in general and isn't sure how to help me in any way besides giving me the space to work. Hope that all makes sense. Man, we've had many evolutions, I would say. Our younger selves didn't know what the fuck to do, if I'm being honest. When we were younger, or we started when I was 19 and Caitlin was 20, I mean, I still have these traits, but I was definitely very workaholic, and like nothing else mattered. Like nothing else in my life mattered at all. Like I was all about the work. And I personally have had a lot of growth there, where now I have times in my day where I'll stop work and I'll hang out with Caitlin. But way back then, we didn't know what the fuck to do, and honestly, we broke up because of that, because I was so invested in the work and didn't spend any time with Caitlin. But I would say we've both grown in the sense, because Caitlin didn't understand what I was doing. Like she didn't understand why I was working that hard. But we've both grown in the sense where now Caitlin does give me the space, but then I equally also pour into the relationship as well. So we've both grown a lot in that sense. But
well, I think also it's like, for us, the reason I was able to adapt was because we're both entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So like
I started a little bit earlier, so it was kind of like, why isn't Chad doing this?
Right. I didn't understand the magnitude, but then when I started building a business of my own, I understood, because I was like, oh, now I understand why Chad's working so much, because I have a lot on my plate now too. So I feel like that experience for me, like at first I was a little bit like, how could you be so, like dedicate all these hours in your day and like not want to have like any breaks or not want to, go do X, Y, and Z. And then I realized like, oh, it's because like you're trying to build something like bigger. And when I started also building something that I wanted to create that was bigger, like I didn't have as much time to dedicate to other things either. So I kind of started seeing like both sides. Like I'm obviously someone who gravitates a little bit more towards having some sort of balance, which I think is also just like more of a feminine trait, whereas like you could just literally work all day until the night and be like, oh cool, like time to hang out.
Like it's 7 o'clock at night now and we're still working.
Yeah. But I think all in all, like we've both been through different seasons in our entrepreneur careers of just navigating busy seasons, navigating, supporting the other person if they're busier than you are, or vice versa. And I think like that dynamic really helps. And honestly, sometimes you just kind of have to like suck it up. Like I feel like with entrepreneurship, your workload changes so much based on like projects or tasks or management, and like, yeah, you can never really have a perfect scheduled week because things will just happen. So I think for me, like, and something that maybe you could help your partner understand is like, hey, I'm obviously in like a busy workflow right now, but that's because I'm trying to get to this next point. When I get to this next point, then I can kind of assess like, maybe how I could dial in on my schedule a little bit better, like open up a little bit more free time, but also just like showing him or her the big picture of what you're looking to achieve, and just like, hey, if I want to get here, like this is what my life needs to look like right now, but like you get to come along for the ride, like you get to support me while I'm doing it, and in turn it's only going to benefit us as a family. At the end of the day, like if Chad's working super hard, if I'm working super hard, at the end of the day it's like we're a team. So I don't see it as like, oh, you're not spending time with me or vice versa, because at the end of the day we're contributing to like our livelihood and our lives together. Yeah,
I think I was writing down notes, that's why I looked away, but I liked what you said about the vision, right? Like when you're a business owner, only you really get your vision. So I think communication on, like Caitlin said, your end goal or your vision is really important, because I'm assuming you probably don't want to work 12-hour days all the time, right? You're probably working towards something. Maybe it's creating like a lifestyle business or a certain amount of income before you maybe hire more people or whatever it may be, so you can buy back your time, right? But if you go over this plan with your significant other, right, then they're cued in on the vision, they understand why you're working so hard, and there's probably not any question. So I would say that a lot of the questions come in from like lack of understanding and lack of vision.
Yeah.
Communication's huge. Caitlin and I have gotten back into this year, but like a weekly relationship check-in, maybe that could be helpful for like the communication aspect with your significant other. This was like a 2-part question. So the other part was, how how can your boyfriend support you throughout this time without just providing you space to work. Space to work is huge. Caitlin gives me all the space to work and never complains and never says, Chad, you're working too much. And honestly, that's like one of the things I'm extremely, extremely grateful to have, because it allows me to be a maniac. And like I said, I've gotten better at pouring into the relationship as a result of that. So I would say from the perspective, like from the hustler's perspective, space to work is like honestly all I want and need. Mm-hmm. I would say the one other thing that I really appreciate as well, is Caitlin does a really good job of saying like, hey, do you need a meal? Or like doing chores around the house, so that when I am done with work, like all that stuff's already done, and it definitely alleviates a lot of stress, mm-hmm. which also allows me to go right into hanging out with her, opposed to saying like, all right, I'm done with work, now I got to do all this house stuff, and then put off hanging out with her. So I would say acts of service and then also giving the space are the two most helpful things for us. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if you had any insight on that, Kate.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. Like if either one of us is experiencing a busy season, like we will pretty much do like a little additional tasks to kind of help like free things off of the other person's plate. Because if you already have a lot on your plate, like obviously at the end of the day, we don't want to wait to do all these chores together. So if there's any little things that pop up.
Chores suck.
Yeah. If there's any little things that pop up through the day, then yeah, I feel like I'll just kind of like handle it. That way, like if you are having a really busy week, it's like one less thing for you to worry about.
Yes. I hate chores. I hate chores.
But he still helps with chores to a certain extent.
She's being gracious. I don't help that much. Okay, we got two more. If you guys aren't liking this, make sure you like and subscribe. Alright, let's keep rocking. So, what is the hardest part about balancing the two? Because both requires time and attention and effort. Balancing the two with relationships and entrepreneurship. Okay, so I talked a lot about the 4 buckets concept, where you have 4 buckets in your life that you're going to pour energy into, or water is the analogy that I usually give. My 4 buckets are career, relationships, health, and personal development. Now, obviously, relationships are extremely important. Career is where I spend majority of my time. So that is my number 1 bucket from like a time perspective. And once again, that's communicated to Caitlin. She understands what makes me happy, and what makes me happy is building things and working on the business and creating and being an entrepreneur. And she understands that, and we've communicated that. And because we have that mutual understanding, she allows me to do that. And because she allows me to do that, I also pour into the relationship as well. So cutoff time for work in 2023 it was 7:30. In 2024 it's about 6:37, so a little bit earlier. So we spend the evenings together, and then we have a dedicated day together on Saturday as well. So for me, it's quality time over amount of time when it comes to relationships. So I'm making sure that I'm tapped out in the evening, and then tapped out on that Saturday day, or Saturday day, on Saturday, to make sure that I'm giving that quality time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to say, same thing for me. I would rather have like undivided attention between both of us, like so we can focus on, like going out on a date or like spending the day together. Because again, if we're just like, I think people often think like entrepreneurs that live together or are married or whatever, share the same household, they're just like sitting next to each other all day, like talking, like shooting the shit, like they have their
I was literally talking about that on the vlog. Sorry,
that's
I interrupted you. I literally was like, there was a scene in there where I was like, I'm in the office right now, Caitlin's on the couch. If you guys want to know the truth about entrepreneurship, is a lot of the time we just do our own thing, and then we catch up at the end of the day.
Yeah, we have one office, and Chad has always just like, I could focus better like out here on the couch counter. I just moved my desk into our bedroom because I feel like it's like a little like cozy nook now. But yeah, I think with entrepreneurs, like just because you share the same household, you don't get to talk all day long. You don't get to have every meal together. Like usually we're on different schedules. Like maybe he has calls in the morning and I'm eating breakfast. Then when he's off, I'm going to the gym. Like, you know, we're always kind of like more in passing through the day. So
I don't think we've ever worked out with each other in like the past 2 years.
Yeah, we don't work out at the same times. But yeah, like evenings I feel are our time to like connect after the day, like most couples do. Like even if you work a 9 to 5, like you're coming home and spending the evening together, talking about what you did, etc. So I feel like, yeah, nighttime and connecting then, and then having like things set up for the weekend, whether it's like a date night or, you know, we have Saturdays to spend like the whole day together. But I feel like, yeah, our biggest connection times are when they're mostly planned. Otherwise, we're just like relaxing and decompressing after the day.
Yeah, and it depends. I guess it also depends on like what your partner like needs in like a loving relationship. Like I know Caitlin needs like, I don't know if affirmations are the right words, but what would you say you need? Like verbal communication?
Yeah, like verbal communication and more like quality time.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like a quality time person. Like I'd rather be able to have like a cozy night and just hang out and talk versus just like, I don't know, like half-assed hangouts through the day. Yeah,
because of that, like I'll leave like occasional notes around the house, or like I'll come out and like we'll give each other a kiss or a hug, or I'll spank her butt. But like, you know, you could do little things throughout the day as well to be like, hey, I'm here, like I love you, like excited to see you.
Like still acknowledging that you're
it's not yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
All right, last one. At what point in your journey did things start to shift for you both? How many times did you fail? I think we can answer this in two parts. Let's answer this for entrepreneurship, and then let's answer this for our relationship as well. Okay, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I feel like for entrepreneurship, I mean the biggest shift for me was like not ever having a safety net ever again. Like Chad and I, when we were building our businesses, like we both have always just been like workhorses. Like I worked 4 jobs. I started my business while still working those jobs. And yeah, I feel like the pivot for me was identifying that I wanted to grow a business at that time that, you know, I could make my own and that, you know, it could be successful, etc., impact many people's lives. And that wasn't going to happen like with all the additional things on my plate. So I think the biggest shift for me was like not thinking that I needed a safety net, and then just quitting all my other side jobs, going all in on my business. And now I've been, like an entrepreneur for what, 7 years? 7 years, maybe 6 or 7 years.
Well, it's been 9 years for me, so.
Yeah, 7 probably for me. Since I like quit probably 7 years. So I feel like, knowing that like my only path for the rest of my life like is entrepreneurship. No matter what I create, no matter what businesses I ever create in the future, no matter like any offers, like anything. It's just, I feel like you have to believe what path is meant for you before you even
burn the boats.
Yeah, like you have to just cut the cord. And then for relationship.
Well, here, I'll do my entrepreneurship one. I would say there's probably like 2 or maybe 3 pivotal moments for me. So in the beginning, I would say there was a lot of failure. Hired a business coach, didn't work out, left me in more debt because I took out a line of credit to do it, couldn't pay it off, didn't have the money to pay off the credit, so I was getting calls from debt collectors, then had to pick up a couple of jobs to pay off that line of credit and get out of debt. And then shortly after, I invested in another business coach, and I was like, all right, this is it, finally going to make it happen. After 3 months in that mentorship, I didn't have any success. It wasn't until the 4th month that I had success, and that was like my first ever 10K month. And it was perfect timing because I like just graduated college at the time. So this like immediately went into full-time coaching right out of college. But I would say those failures and like Caitlin said, having your back against the wall because it was either I'm getting a job or I'm doing this, helped me in that first stage. Then I would say the next most impactful thing was honestly moving to Austin. One, just from like being in the environment, being in the energy, it challenged you to grow. Also meeting a lot of great people, more specifically for me, Dayla McDevitt, who a lot of you guys know. We launched NLCA together. We were the co-founders, and that was probably like my next big growth as an entrepreneur was simply just that connection. So I would say those were the 2 most pivotal times in my entrepreneurial career.
Yep, and then
for relationships, we had so many failures.
I know. I feel like we should just talk about like the most like we don't need to date back to like our teenage years.
I think we can give them the. No, they want to hear all the. That's what this vlog's about. It's about the failures.
Okay, well.
I mean, yeah, I can summarize I'll summarize the younger years, but basically we were very young. I was 16, Caitlin was 17 when we met. We met in a grocery store. I was the person who would bag the groceries. Caitlin was the cashier. I got promoted to cashier.
He stared at my butt. Yes, I feel like we've told this story so many times.
Yeah, but some people are new. But anyways, we went to homecoming. We became boyfriend and girlfriend. I made some stupid decisions as a young adult male, and we broke up. Caitlin found another boyfriend. I did my young adult male things, being a little fuckboy, being an idiot. And then we crossed paths again when we were in college. We would hang out from time to time, nothing really serious. And then things started to get more serious. I actually moved back home. Don't tell my parents this, but I moved back home for Caitlin. They thought I just moved back home because I hated college. We started dating again. We went to the same college. We started dating again. Multiple on and offs, dating together.
Pause. I think like also when you're young, like I just feel like from the ages of like 21 to like 24, 25.
Yeah, we were
just,
young.
Yeah, you're just trying to figure out
it's
like
okay.
Yeah, you're just trying to figure out who you are, and I feel like I genuinely feel like I didn't really start to actually know myself and my values and my worth and all these things until probably like 25, 26. Like, I feel like more through my adult years.
It's okay. All of our failures are okay. Yeah, I'll be open and honest. We were very on and off. We were trying to figure ourselves out. Obviously, we both loved each other, and that's why we kept coming back to each other. But Caitlin gave me an ultimatum. She said she's moving to Austin. We were actively dating at this time. And I was honestly petrified. We went down to Austin a few times and vacationed, and she said, yeah, I'm moving here. You can either come or not. And I don't think he wanted to do long distance. So it was basically like, stay with me or we're going to break up. So
basically, yeah, he came to Austin.
So I came to Austin, and we made it work. We moved in together. We both, it was our first time ever living with somebody else. And man, we really don't fight at all, if I'm being honest. We don't, yes, we have our normal marriage tips.
Little like tips, but
and get annoyed at each other.
We're both very like calm, collected people. Like we both like don't want conflict, and we don't want, like, we're not mean. We don't ever like act out towards each other or anything. And
we're both very emotionally mature.
Our dynamic as individuals and together in a relationship, I feel like, is very calm and like peaceful.
Yeah, and we got married this past year, and yeah, now it's official.
Well, I don't even remember what the question was.
Did we have any failures as a relationship?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, sure. I mean, those were our failures. We were young, stupid. We didn't know ourselves, and that showed in our inconsistency in our relationship. But honestly, this is a bold statement, but I would say entrepreneurship expedited us like learning who we were, and it expedited our emotional matureness, and honestly probably really helped our relationship a shit ton.
It teaches you a lot about yourself and what you can handle and communication, especially like if you have staff. And I just feel like as people, like we always want the best for each other, and I feel like that shows up in other like areas of our lives as well. But I feel like entrepreneurship also kind of forces you to grow up a little bit faster, because you can't be like an immature entrepreneur. I feel like that combination just doesn't. I mean, maybe you can. I'm sure there are some people that are.
There's plenty.
But I feel like personally for us, that would never be an approach we would want. Because I feel like at the end of the day, we both want to inspire people, and we also want people that really ever get to connect with us feel like they can be their most authentic selves and like bring out like the best version of that person. And I feel like because that's what we want for others, like we do that for each other too. You know?
Yeah. 100%. We kill it.
Good job.
All right, that is it. If you guys enjoyed this, let us know in the comments down below. We're actually watching a lot of our old YouTube videos that we did when we were young, like 19, 20, 21.
Oh my God.
And man, they were really funny. We did a lot of cool shit. We were like, man, we need to
Yeah, we're like, have we gotten like boring?
Have we gotten boring? Like,
do we need to start cracking watermelons again? Or they're like...
You know, I'm 28, she's 29, we're still young.
Yeah, we're young. We're in our 20s.
But fuck, yeah, where I'm going with this is there might be some more fun vlogs on the channel, like just silly stuff that we do and reintroduce. So keep an eye out for that. But before we check out, I feel like I gotta show you Mila because she has been very quiet.
Also, I'm so sorry. This whole time I've been itching my eye. Like, I have the worst eye allergies.
You can tell me the pink eye. It's okay.
I don't have pink eye, but I just literally, I don't know why, like my eyes like just get so itchy and flared up, and I think I'm just allergic to something. Anyway, that's why I've been looking.
She has pink eye. Don't let her fool you.
I don't have pink eye.
All right, we're gonna end the vlog on Mila. Mila's gonna end the vlog today.
Hey guys, good night.
No, you gotta tell them to like and subscribe.
Okay guys, like and subscribe the video, and if you do, well, I'll show up in more of the videos.
And my dad, he said he'd give me more treats if I said this.
Yeah, so like and subscribe, idiots.
Okay, bye.